Hi guys, I'm Charlotte. If you don't already know me, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about all the tips and tricks that you need to grow your Instagram. I don't like to mess about, so let's just get straight into it. The first tip, I think, most important and your baseline to start an Instagram when you're trying to become an influencer, you need to pick a niche. And I know this might sound a bit scary and a bit confusing. You're not sure what you want to do, and you don't know whether you want to do a fashion, motherhood, you don't know whether you want to be a travel influencer. But I suggest looking at what you think you'll be able to actually keep up. Like if you have got a child and that's literally your life and that's all you do, and you would love to share everything about your journey, then I suggest doing a Instagram or whatever you want to do, whether that be YouTube, like I said, Instagram, TikTok. There's loads of different platforms you can influence on these days. If you are thinking about doing a fashion one, you need to make sure you've got enough clothes to actually promote. If you've only got leggings and t-shirts, like I did at first, because let's face it, when you're mums, that's all you live in. Like I lived in leggings and t-shirts pretty much every single day for the first like 3 or 4 years of my kids' lives. But if that's the case and you haven't got the money to go out and buy it, and do you know what I mean? Like there's no point in saying, right, I'm just specifically fashion when you haven't got the clothes and the jewellery and the bags and accessories to actually keep up with that as your page. Like if you haven't got enough content, there's no point. So it's really important to think of a niche. Think of why you're doing it, what you'd like to bring to your audience, what value that'd be, whether that just be inspiration, whether that be motivation if you're doing fitness, or if you're doing body positivity, just giving people confidence and showing them that it's okay to be who you are and not to worry about stretch marks and cellulite, because everybody got them. Then happy days, that's something you can go down, that's the route you can go down. But you need to know, you need to think and actually niche down, because if you don't, what will happen is Instagram will go off like your hashtags and the content you're producing, and they will promote that to people and push your content out. And if your content starts to do well, then they will continue pushing it out to those people. If you change your mind every post, and one post could be fashion, the next post could be motherhood, the next post could be traveling, the next post could be fitness, if it's all different every single post, Instagram will get confused and will promote your posts to the wrong audience, if that makes sense. If Instagram doesn't know who to promote it to, because you don't know what type of niche you are, then there's a few things that will happen. Is perhaps your post will go to people with fitness when your brand is not fitness related. So those people then will look at your post and they'll be like, oh, I like that. So they'll like that, click on your profile. And then when they go on your profile and they see that your stuff isn't about fitness, your stuff is a bit of everything, they're not going to want to follow you. So then you'll not get the continued engagement with them. People aren't going to want to follow you if you have one post about fitness or one post about motherhood, because it's just not what they're interested in. And Instagram is a lot about engagement, and if you don't engage and don't get that in return, your followers are not going to go up. So that's very important. Once you've actually got your niche, the next thing I want to talk to you about is the quality of your content. This is very important. When I first started out, my Instagram, believe it or not, was just fitness. It was just food, just fitness, like all to do with diets and healthy eating, healthy lifestyles. I was thoroughly enjoying it. I was so motivated, and my following was building. My quality of my content, though, wasn't very good. Like, I had poor lighting. The photos of the food was good because it's just on a plate. I had a white plate, so everything was fine. But the quality of my other content, my photos of myself, when I started to do transformations and stuff, they weren't going as far. And I got to the point then that I thought, oh, actually, I want to start working with brands. And my quality of my content wasn't good enough to work with these brands. I kept getting rejected, and I was thinking, what am I doing wrong? And I looked on other people's pages, and I researched. I've looked on YouTube for videos like this to show you exactly what you're doing wrong, and suddenly it clicked. And the trick is, you need good lighting. For one, I'm currently using, while I'm doing this video, a ring light. They're about £15 on Amazon. The one I've got right now has 3 different settings. So you can have like a blue light, you can have a white bright light, you can have like the golden hour glow light, and it's also got a little, I haven't got it here at the minute, but a little button that you can press where you connect it to Bluetooth. You press the button and it'll start the video for you, so you don't have to like get ready and pose or whatever for a photo or video and then have to run back or set a timer constantly. You can actually just press it. So yeah, it's my biggest must have for content creating. If you want decent photos, I highly recommend you invest in one. You know, £15 isn't a lot of money. It may be more expensive now, it may be less, I don't know. But £15 when I bought it, and it means that I can take full length shots. It means I don't need somebody to take photos of me all the time. My photos are not just selfies all the time. I can get different angles. Like this now, I'm hands-free because my phone is recording using my stand with my light. So my lighting is good and I can record without just holding the phone straight in front of me. So I highly recommend that. Another thing about your content is you need to make sure you're aware of your surroundings. So don't have clutter all in the background. It's not so much a big deal with like motherhood blogs and stuff like that, or pages, because I find that type of stuff does help me. Like if I was to do that, I used to do a motherhood page, and I feel like it's a bit more relatable if there's a bit of mess in the background. But fashion pages are not going to want your content on their page if you've got rubbish all behind you and clothes everywhere and toys everywhere and whatever. Find somewhere or squish it to the side. Just move it out of the frame. You don't have to have an immaculate house. Just be aware of what's in your photo and what's in your video. Like right now, I don't know if you can see it, but my glasses are next to me because they do my head in and they reflect the light. So they're not on me right now. They're on the bed, so you might be able to see them. But yeah, so make sure your lighting is good. Make sure there's nothing in the background, so there's no distraction from what you're trying to promote. Also, you need to make sure that you don't use Snapchat filters. Now, this is a pet peeve for me. I absolutely hate it when people do this. people using Snapchat filters, like the dog emoji or like a sparkly face or whatever, you're not a vampire from Twilight. A brand is not going to want somebody with a dog filter promoting their clothing. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, I absolutely love that photo of you with the dog filter on. That's got to go on my page. Like, really? Is Pretty Little Thing going to have a dog filter on their page? No, they're not. So be real. If you want to take it seriously, if you want to get far, make sure you're being aware of that type of stuff. If you wanted to put that on your stories, by all means. I still don't think it's very professional. That'd be more something for TikTok, in my eyes, or actually just keep it for Snapchat. I don't think it's professional, personally, but each to their own. I just think you need to be professional with your photos, and your stories is more personal and more getting to know you. They don't have to be perfect. They can be your day-to-day life. But when you're doing a post, you need to consider every single time, would a brand post this onto their page? Would I look at this on a brand's page and think, I want to buy that? I need that. Would another brand look at your post on a brand's page and think, I want to work with them? Because if you don't think so, then rethink your content, rethink what you're posting, get a better shot. Otherwise, what's the point? Another thing is, I don't particularly like black and white photos. That's just a personal preference, but I just think if you're trying to show off and promote clothing, especially, like if you're in the fashion niche and you're trying to promote clothing, you want to show off that clothing. If it's in black and white, you can't see anything. It filters the details, and it just, you've got no colour to it, you've got no like vibrance, there's nothing exciting about it. Yes, on some black and white photos your skin looks smoother and it makes you look prettier and you feel better and more comfortable, and some black and white photos look really, really good. But if you're promoting something, you know, these companies work very, very hard on making these products or clothing or whatever that you were trying to promote and sell. How are you supposed to promote it and sell it if you don't actually promote it and sell it like it is? If you promote it and sell it in black and white, nobody's going to be like, oh my god, I've got to have that, because it just doesn't look anything special. It just looks boring. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I just think personally that it doesn't look professional. That's fine, you know, if that's what you want to do. Some people do very well off it, but I personally think having the full colour of your photo on show is a lot more professional and a lot more likely to get collaborations. So yeah, just be wary of what you're posting, and like I said, every time just think, would a brand work with me? Would I want to work with me if I was a brand? And if you answer no to any of those questions, then you know you're doing something wrong. Also, it's not a must, but I think when you're posting photos, try and be original. Try and think outside the box. Try and think of different angles, different poses, different backgrounds. Just something that'll catch the eye of any businesses that you can potentially collaborate with, because they want originality. They don't want all photos exactly the same. You know, it's not always easy to do, and you could have like one or two posts that are like, oh my god, that's so original, and the rest of your content could be absolutely normal. But if you were trying, you know, they will notice that, and you're more likely to get inspired and create more out of the box photos. And you will get more excited about promoting yourself, and you'll get more excited about growing your Instagram. I think it's very important to actually be excited and be enjoying what you're doing. Like, there's no point in doing it if you don't enjoy it and you think of it as a chore, or you just think, oh, quickly, I'll take a photo, it's done. Do you know what I mean? You need to actually be passionate about it. Think if there's something for you. If not, I think you seriously need to reconsider. If you don't enjoy it, there's no point. Next thing I'm going to talk about is very, very important. I think hashtags are probably one of the most important things other than having quality content. So with a hashtag, you want to use ones that are relatable to your niche, to your post. So I posted a photo the other day of myself in a red dress. So I posted and made hashtags like red dress or summer fashion or outfit of the day, stuff like that. You don't want a photo with a red dress and just tag something ridiculous like nice car then. Something stupid like that. You don't want to be tagging that if that's not relatable to your photo and your niche, because then people will not engage with your posts. Again, it's the same as what I previously said. If you tag your profile or your photos saying something that's not relevant, people won't engage or they won't follow you, because Instagram is pushing your content out to from those hashtags. Those hashtags are like assigned to Instagram, basically. Just think of it as a message to Instagram. Don't think about it as who else you're sending the message to. Think, I'm telling Instagram what this post is about. So make sure you are posting about what that content is. So like I said, red dress, you could write lady in red because she's in a red dress. Or you could write, if you're wearing a tan babes, or sun-kissed, or something like that, or summer glow. You could have anything like that. Also, there's usually tags depending on the day of the week. So Monday motivation, or Sunday selfie, Saturday style, stuff like that. You know, there's things you can use throughout the week. But with hashtags, what you want to know and what you need to actually think about is the amount of people using that hashtag. So if you look at your hashtag and you go to type it in, next to it on the right hand side, it will say, I don't know, like 2.3 million people use this. So you don't want to use that one. So for example, what I wore today, so WIWT, that is something that I use regularly, but I change it up. I don't use that exact one because that exact one has like 2 point something million posts, which means there's a lot of people using it, which means your content is less likely to get viewed because there's so much competition. But then there's ones like what I wore today fashion, so WIWT fashion, and that may have like 12,000 people using it. So that is much better to use because you're more likely to get viewed. If you use then one that's too low, so if you use one who's got like 500 people using it, then it's less likely to get used again because only 500 people have been using it. So people are less likely to click on it and interact with people of the same thing because then it's not being used frequently enough. So it's either way, you need to find somewhere more in the middle, around the, I don't know, tens of thousands rather than hundreds of thousands or millions, I'd say. So yeah, be cautious of what you are using with your hashtags, because even though they don't seem important, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, only use this amount of hashtags or use this amount of hashtags, because you can use up to 30. Some people are like, oh, only use 7, that's the ideal number. To me, I think use them as much as you can think of, as many as you can. If you use all 30, you use all 30. To me, I just think that means there's 30 chances that you are going to get onto these hashtag searches and people are going to see your content. That's more likely for you to get viewed and your page to get engaged with and followed. I think it'd be silly not to use them. And if people are engaging, Instagram is not going to see it as spam or whatever, because you were using hashtags specific to your post. You're not just using follow for follow or something like that, because that's just going to get you people that are just going to follow you. They're not going to engage with your content, and they're just literally going to follow you just so you're following back. And a lot of them will actually go back through and unfollow you, because for some strange reason, some people think having less people you are following and more people following you is such a good thing. It doesn't make no difference. It just means that you're being a bit mean, like you're just being a bit of a dick, because you're just going back through and wasting your time unfollowing people just to look better, but it's not. I just don't understand it. But anyway, number 4, engagement. You have to engage with other people. If you don't engage with other people, they're less likely to engage with you. So if somebody comments on your picture, for example, and say you look beautiful, it doesn't take 2 seconds to just say, oh, thank you. And then go onto their page, like a few things of theirs, maybe follow them if it's something you're interested in, and they actually fit the same sort of niche as you. They're more likely then to just come back and follow and like your stuff all the time. And you are more likely then to return the favour. So then you've got a bit of engagement going. And not only that, then that will put your insights up. So if you were on a business page on Instagram, which I highly recommend if you want to be an influencer, it shows you all your details. So it'll tell you your engagement, your reach, your followers. It'll tell you whether people are online early in the morning or late at night, whether they're male or female, where they're from. It'll tell you everything. So I suggest getting it. But if your engagement goes up, that is something that brands look for more. Believe it or not, yes, followers are important for some brands, and they do like you to have quite a few followers. Some brands will work with you without them, but if you've got high engagement rate, brands are more likely to want to actually work with you, because they see that people are actually commenting and liking on your stuff. So they're like, oh, people are actually noticing their posts. Whereas you could have somebody with 10,000 plus followers and they'll have like 1 comment or 20 likes on their post. So then their posts, that means, are not getting seen. They're posting, but they've got followers that don't actually engage with this stuff. They don't actually look at this stuff, which to me is not worth it. Like, if you were going to do it properly, you need the engagement rate, because then at least then you are actually going to see a return and more people are going to want to work with you. Brands look for engagement and followers. Just remember that. Like, I started working with brands when I had about 1,000 followers. I'm now on nearly 3,000, and it's only going up. My engagement rate is on like 16,000 plus, and that's from purely going through, liking people's stuff, commenting on it, following them if that's my niche and that's something I want. You also want to be going through brands that you want to work with or that you like or fit your niche and commenting and liking on their posts, and make sure you follow them, because that is something you'll build a rapport up with this brand. And also that if they are verified and they have got a lot of followers, then Instagram will see that and they will think you're friends. So they'll be like, oh, wow, they're engaging. These must be people that know each other. So they will push it and push it and push it more. So your comments and all that will get seen. Your engagement will be put up. And those people then that are seeing their reply to you on these brands, they may click on your profile and like you and follow you because they think, oh, well, they've got a bit of rapport with them. So I want to follow them. They got the same sort of interests as me. I want to follow them. So it's all about engagement. The more you engage, the more likely you are to get more followers, the more likely you are to work with brands and grow in general. Now, don't go following and liking people that are not in the niche that you were in, because again, Instagram will get confused and it's all that process again. It's just not worth it. Also, don't do follow loops, because these people will follow you and not like on your stuff, not comment on your stuff, and then your engagement will go rubbish because it does it on the percentage of followers you got and the percentage of followers that actually engage with your posts. So if your percentage of followers are not engaging, you can have low engagement rate and your followers will go down, because those people, they a lot of them, like I said before, will just unfollow you. They just want you to follow them. They think that not everybody will go through and unfollow people. Like I've done follow loops before in the past and it never works out, and it's just no point. It spends so much of your time, and if Instagram picks up on that, you can have your account blocked. So all your hard work would be not worth it. I would much rather grow organically on Instagram, have good engagement, have decent content, and have brands work with me, than do all these follow loops, have loads of followers that don't want to engage with your stuff, and then brands don't actually want to work with you. And it's just a waste of time, in my opinion. So stay away from follow loops. And my fifth and final tip is to stay consistent. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh my God, obviously I've got to stay consistent. But I'm going to explain a little bit why. If you are consistent with your posting, not only will Instagram push all your content forward, so they'll be thinking, this person's really, really passionate. This person wants this. This person is consistent. They're motivated. I'm going to push their content out. But it will also be the same with brands. If brands look at your page and they see that you post daily or every other day, they will be like, right, they are consistent. They are keeping up with this. I want to work with them because they're passionate. They are putting their effort in. They're not giving up. If you post once a month or once every 2 weeks, brands are going to be like, do they just want a freebie? They're not going to be thinking, this person actually wants this as they work. They want this as a business. They want to do well in this. They want to succeed. They're going to think, they just want a freebie out of me. I don't want to work with them because they want a freebie just so they can post something. It's just not worth it. And not only that, if you're staying consistent, your followers are more likely to stick with you, and they'll look forward to your posts every day. They will get a bit of rapport with you. They will know who you are because you will be posting on your stories. You will be posting on your wall and your feed. You will be posting every day. So if you were posting every single day or every other day, your followers know exactly what to expect. They know that you're going to have a post up. They know that you're active. If you are inactive and they don't feel like they know you as a person, they don't feel like you're friends, they don't feel like they can talk to you, or they want to know more about something, or they want to see how you got on if you went out, They want to see how your day went. If they don't feel like that, then they're not going to stay following you. After a while, they will unfollow you because they'll just get bored. If your content is not regular enough, they're going to be bored. So you need to make sure that you have an achievable plan, and if you are going to post every other day, then so be it. But you need to stick to that. It's okay to miss a day or two, but you need to stay consistent, whether that be posting a post a day. Some people post 2 or 3 times a day, but if you can't keep that up, don't start doing it, because your followers will come to expect that. If you can only post once a day, post once a day. I only post once a day unless I've got something super exciting that I really want to share with people. I will post 2 things, but 2 things is the most I post a day. I post on my stories quite a lot, but it's only 1 to 2 posts on my feed a day, and I do that every day. It's very rare I will miss a day posting. That is purely when I'm really, really busy and I just haven't had a chance. But I tend to plan my content ahead of time, so then I know exactly what I've got and when I'm going to post it, which I will talk more about in my next video. So stay tuned for part 2, and I hope that these tips really, really helped you, because when you're starting off, it can be a bit daunting. There can be a lot of information flying through the air and you're just a bit like, oh my God, can I ever do this? But you can just follow these tips and you will be okay. Yes, there's more to it, and I will record another video. Part 2 is coming soon, so make sure you subscribe and turn your notifications on so you know exactly when it comes on. But just believe in yourself and write down your reasons why you want to do this. And I promise you, it's not that complicated. Once you get into the swing of things, you will be flying and you'll be thinking, thank God for that. And you will be loving life. You won't be worrying and stressing. Right now, it does seem overwhelming, but take your time, follow these tips that I've put in this video, and I hope they help you. And I'm going to challenge you lot, everybody who's watching, put these tips into action, and by next week when I post my next video, I want to know how you've got on. So comment down below exactly how you've got on, what tips you've used, what tips you're yet to use. I want to know it all, because I do want to make friendships, and Instagram isn't, or any social media, isn't all about getting free stuff, because I know a lot of people think that that's what it's about, but I have made so many good friendships throughout my journey with Instagram and TikTok and everything else. So you need to just sit back and enjoy it. Yes, you want to do well in it, but just don't put too much pressure on yourself. It'll come when it comes, and that's all you can do. Just make sure you enjoy it. And I hope you're all well. I will see you next week.